The Island of Seductive Women, Cannibals. Japanese Buddhist Lore by Lin Fami. I have no idea what this is about. I'm not even aware. This is gonna be very interesting, especially since it's cannibalism, like a usual topic on our on this channel here. So yeah, let's just see what this is about. There's one, so you know there's one interesting. Let's just start.
In Buddhist scriptures, there are demonic beings called Ratsetsu. Some call them man-eaters.
Man-eaters. Ratsetsu. Man-eaters. So what's the difference to every other woman that isn't a lesbian?
You may be surprised to hear that demons are a huge part of Buddhism, especially female demons who seduce men. Old Japanese Buddhist writings are full of stories about men falling to temptation. Medieval monks thought of women the way school shooters think of women, with absolute terror.
Yeah, that joke. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. I could see it. Yeah.
It has long been a fantasy of men to travel to a land inhabited by beautiful and seductive women, ready and willing to ignore them, just like in real life.
Ignore me, mommy! Yeah. I would say I'll turn island with beautiful women. I have to be a virgin though, so otherwise I wouldn't go there.
Hot. These fantasies were common, but in Japanese Buddhist writings, they were morality tales used to teach monks to stay away from the coochie. In one tale of the cooch, some men went to a land of women and became prostitutes.
Simply put, what the Buddhists want to say is, pussy destroys you. I can agree with that.
At first, life was great, but since they were the only men, they served thousands of women day and night. They all died from exhaustion, death by...
There's worse way to go. Can we agree on that? There's worse ways to go. At least they died happy. Exhausted but happy, probably. Fine. You know what? Totally okay.
Snoo. Writers didn't pull any punches. A common saying went, "Women are the emissaries of hell. They cut off forever the seeds of Buddhahood."
They're dropping bars here. Oh, good God. Calm down. If it's only women, it won't be the land of virgins, at least a good chunk of them. Probably, I would assume. Did he just say they became pretty much, because like they were the only men there and it was just women there?
On the outside, they have the faces of bodhisattvas, but on the inside, they have the hearts of demons. The Ratsetsu was part of this tradition of morality tales. Now there are male Ratsetsu, but who gives a shit? The female Ratsetsu...
There are men? They're male? Ratsetsu? But nobody cares. Talk about the women. Well, they can just do it with themselves. Yeah, true.
Is a creature that can change into a scorching hot woman who starts Australian wildfires. If you're a man and you meet...
Whoa! Is that the reason?
One, this cannibalistic creature would seduce you and then she would swallow you. That's the good news. But then she would...
Swallow. In what way? Is this some type of lore thing now? Is that what this is? Or are we talking about swimmers? What are we talking about here?
Would eat you too. Now it's hard to imagine a society of islanders so sexually perverted and degenerate, but the Japanese do exist. Next to them, though, is a
But the Japanese do exist. Shots fired!
Fictional island called Ratsetsu-koku, or Land of the Ratsetsu. This is where most female Ratsetsu live. The first Japanese mention of the island of the Rasetsu was in a story from the 1100s called How Sokara and 500 Merchants Went to the Land of the Rasetsu. It was an Indian story that made its way to Japan. One day, a merchant named Sokara and 500 of his merchant buddies set sail.
They all got drained. My poor incubus need some love too, not just the succubi. No. Life as an incubus must be pretty chill. You don't have to work whatsoever. Like this is, you get rarely some action.
Looking for treasure. Unfortunately, all they found was a strong wind that made their ship crash onto an unknown island. They were all, oh no, we're going to die. Then they were like, well, hold on a minute. When a group of women came to the beach singing. Their voices were like those of the best opera singers because no one listened to them. They were all busy looking at.
So the Buddhist gooners. Okay.
How beautiful the women were. The ladies beckoned them to follow, and follow they did, right into this cool mansion. Turns out they had crashed on some fantasy island of gorgeous women who were just waiting for men to come, just waiting for a chance to satisfy.
That can have not two meanings. For men to come. This could go both ways. Either the arrival of men or literally. Women give men hope. They can also give them misery. Depends. The Buddhist gumpers. Oh no, not the gumping! Chat, how often do you gump?
Their desires. Each man was free to pick any woman to be his wife, and for some time they lived in bliss. Now, some of the men probably already had wives, but you know what they say, what happens in Rasetsu Koku stays in Rasetsu Koku, and for
or the more the merrier. The problem is that I know women that said, hey, what happens on vacation stays on vacation. So...
For things that don't, there's penicillin. Only one man thought he smelled something fishy, and it wasn't between the island women's legs.
That joke is diabolical. Yeah, I'm smelling something fishy. It's not the hold.
The leader of the expedition, Sokara, snooped around the island, and in a place far from any undulating bodies, he found their secret. It was a cave, and scattered on the ground were bones, bits of flesh, and entire corpses.
It's not a bit! That's an entire hand! What do you mean that's a bit? Yeah, they got eaten. They took the eat a dick way too literally.
There were men locked behind bars, some of them missing limbs. He had found a prison for men. One prisoner told Sokara that he too used to be a merchant. His ship crashed, and the women welcomed him and his crew. They lived in sexual pleasure. All their needs were met, until another ship crashed. He and his men were thrown in prison. The women cut the tendons on their feet so they couldn't run, kept them there for food. It's all fun and games until someone gets eaten. He warned Sokara that the women were Ratsetsu demons and they should run away. Sokara told his men what he saw.
I'll go there. I'll make them submit. I'll put them in working camps like in Pal World. I don't care. I'll stop them.
But their ship was wrecked. How could they escape? Some of the merchants fell down and prayed to the Bodhisattva Kannon, and she actually responded. Surprising, because nowadays, now that she's all famous, she never responds. You've changed, Bodhisattva. A great white horse galloped by. Sokara and some of his men grabbed on as it flew over the waters. The women...
What the heck? That would only probably lead to a worse place. Why do I have the feeling that that's the case? The first batch of men expired. Pretty much.
Saw this and changed to their true demonic forms to chase after them. One of the men on the horse made the mistake of thinking of his new wife's beautiful face and lost his grip. He fell into the sea and was gobbled up by the demons. 2 years later, Sokara was at home. He thought his little adventure long ago was behind him, but while he was in bed, his Rasetsu wife appeared. She looked beautiful and told him to return to the island. But Sokara had a good head on his shoulders, and he thought,
Nah, bro, I would have been like, no, you stay here now.
I will kill you if you don't go away, he said. His wife stormed off to the palace to complain to the king, and the king fell madly in lust with her. Sokara heard the news and ran over to warn the king. She's a man-eater, your dumb majesty, he said. Unfortunately, his dumb majesty had given in to desire and spent 3 days in bed with the demon.
Damn, that's stamina. I don't think any child's stamina can keep up with that kind of stamina. Wow. Okay, they were sex maxing in there.
After 3 days, the Ratsetsu woman exited the room with blood flowing down her lips. All that was left of the king was a pool of crimson and hair.
Worth
Having
it.
your king slayed usually makes you mad. Just ask any chess player. Sokara gathered an army and attacked the island, killing all the Ratsetsu. Afterwards, he became king of the island, and his descendants live on it to this day. There are many versions of this story in Buddhist writings. Some say it's an origin story of Sri Lanka. Some say Sokara was the Buddha in a past life, and the story was an allegory of him escaping his desires and ascending to nirvana. The island is even in the Lotus Sutra, one of the main Buddhist texts. In it, the Bodhisattva canon is supposed to protect you from 10 great dangers. One of them is the danger.
Bro overcame the gooning. This should be inspiring to us all. Don't smash based on looks. But these poor, beautiful women.
Danger of being shipwrecked on an island of man-eating demons, very specific for some reason. In the Lotus Sutra, the demons are actually male, not female. Later stories changed it to an island of female demons, which stuck when the stories traveled to China and Japan. If you asked people in ancient times where Rasetsu Island was, they would have gestured vaguely south, like they were American, and you just asked them where Bolivia was. The island was always
Americans catching strays. Just blood in here. Yup.
somewhere down yonder south. People saw it as a mysterious land at the southern edge of the world. Since the stories began in India, people thought it was Sri Lanka. But when the stories came to Japan, the Japanese thought it was an island to the south of Japan, because Japan was the center of the world, of course. The Japanese even started drawing it in their maps. The earliest example is this map from 1305. South is up on this map if you're confused. It's labeled Land of Rasetsu.
South is up? What? What? Interesting, Japan. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I still don't see the difference between a normal woman and a man-eater.
And has the text, "Women here, those who enter never return." But
So it's a Louis Vuitton store. Women here, those who enter never return. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is wild.
this map also has the Ryukyu Islands and says its inhabitants have the bodies of humans and the heads of birds, so we probably shouldn't be using it for navigation. Fun fact, the word Rasetsu is written like this. It can also be written like this, which means castration, leading to fun double
Um. Um. So these demons are castration demons? I mean, if you die and get eaten, I guess that could serve as one. So makes sense. Sure.
entendres. My ex was such a ratsetsu. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your dick. The island started appearing in more and more maps. It was never drawn fully, only one side was visible, because people thought it was a place of the unknown yet to be explored. In some maps in the 1400s drawn
Land of women. Land of women. The scariest place on earth. The land of women.
by Koreans, but using information from the Japanese, the island was sometimes right next to Japan or much further away. You can also see another island on this map called the Land of Women, which is a different place where women become pregnant by spreading their legs to the
Okay, so this is the crazy women. This is my type women island. This is women getting pregnant by spreading their legs to
wind. But you
the wind. Damn. The wind is a whore. Land of women sounds so good.
probably don't
You can go there. Just don't spread your legs, I guess.
want to hear about that. For much of the Edo period, Rasetsu Island became standard in all maps of Japan. This island from the old stories became a real island in Japanese minds. Alright, for more Japanese Buddhist lore, check out these videos. We have a new emperor on Patreon today, Carl. Thanks, Emperor Carl.
That's the end of the video. To the wind, yeah. That's the end of the video. That was interesting. That was interesting. I've seen things. Interesting things. Things that I didn't need to see. Bro, I didn't know Zeus was the god of the wind. True. Yeah, that was fun. I never knew that. Now I do. Interesting, interesting.